Hey everybody, this is Jeff from GamerTheory, and this is the first of what I hope to be many GamerTheory.com mailbags. So I've had a few questions come through my email lately as I've asked for some feedback on YouTube, and I've gathered up some of those questions and put them together here. And this is going to be kind of just off the cuff. I didn't really prepare answers, and I'll just read off some of these I got asked multiple times, but these were kind of seemingly the top questions that came through. So the first one came in from Jerry Jive 436, and he asks, what Nintendo franchises or individual games would I like to see remade in HD for the Wii U? So this has been a trend that's been going on this generation where games have been remade in high definition and re-released, and in some cases they're done really, really well, and others, it's just okay. But obviously with the Wii not being an HD console, Nintendo hasn't really been able to do that. Now they did remake, obviously, Ocarina of Time and Star Fox 64 for the 3DS, but obviously that not being a high definition console, this question is about the Wii U. So some of the ones that come to mind first, F-Zero GX. I find it really unlikely that we're going to get another F-Zero GX game from Sega and Namco Nintendo. If we can't get a sequel in that same vein, which I really hope we do, I'd love to see that one remastered in HD. That to me is still the best futuristic racer. Just a great game. Obviously the Metroid Prime trilogy, that would be absolutely amazing in HD. And I know Retro's probably moved on to other things and other projects right now, but that's one I'd really like to see. The Donkey Kong Country collection, you'd have to rework those sprites and backgrounds, so it would be a massive undertaking, but it would be really cool to get those Donkey Kong Country games in HD. Obviously Pikmin 1 and 2, those were already beautiful games on the GameCube. In a high resolution, they would be great. Same goes for the Wind Waker, already a beautiful game, but in a higher resolution it would look incredible. Obviously Wave Race 64 and Wave Race Blue Storm would be great candidates. And then who wouldn't want to see Super Mario 64 remastered with the Super Mario Galaxy engine, but obviously up-resed and done in HD. It would be amazing. So those are the ones that come to mind. I'm sure there's a few others that I could name, but those are the ones that I think would be the ones I'd want to see first. The next question comes in from X Factor. I can't pronounce it. We'll just call it X Factor. He asks, how do I feel about on-disc DLC? Now, this is a sticky question because it's huge controversy right now. Obviously, he's probably referring to the fact that Street Fighter Cross Tekken has characters on the disc, and those are going to be sold at a later date. Now, there's other instances where this has happened as well. It's not that easy. I can't just say I like it or dislike it one way or the other. The reason being is that we don't know how the game was planned out in development. It's possible that content that's being held back for DLC was originally planned for the game, but the publisher wasn't going to give them enough of a budget to do that part of the process. For example, let's say you've got an adventure game, and there's a whole area that's going to be sold later as DLC. It happens to be on the disc. So when you buy it, it's like a 2-second download, it pops and it's under game. And then you might think, well, that's kind of lame. They just held it back so they could sell it to me. But maybe it's something the developers wanted to include originally, but the publisher said, we're not going to do the budget for that. But if you guys want to save it and sell it as DLC, then we'll go ahead and let you have that additional money to build it because we feel like we can get it back on our investment when you start to sell it as DLC. So maybe it's not a decision by the developer. Maybe it's on the publisher level where they'll say, okay, you can build it, but you have to sell it. So we don't know those agreements that go on there. In other cases, say for like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, they say it's for compatibility issues, and that may be true. Mortal Kombat had issues with people who didn't download the DLC and then they couldn't sync up correctly online. So that's one reason. Another thing is maybe they got the character assets on the disc and their movesets, but they just might not be balanced yet. Maybe they wanted to get the game out and they had, what they felt was a pretty good balance with a certain number of characters, and they were still working on balance with others. And so they wanted until the fall to make sure they were going to be really well balanced. I mean, the roster is going to swell significantly, so maybe they just need more time. So personally, I can't say one way or the other. I don't like it if it's obviously something that just should have been in the game. Mass Effect's From Ashes DLC, it's a great piece of content, and I'm having a hard time thinking about that bonus character you get. And I did the DLC really early. I had the collector's edition, and I think you're missing out on a lot if you don't get it. So I don't know if that's something that was held back so they could sell it, or maybe it was one of those publisher agreement things. I don't know why, but it is a bit of a bummer when it's day one, and in that instance, only the characters on the disc. You do have to download the entire mission. So that kind of leads into my next question, and it is, what do you think about the Mass Effect 3 controversy? And they're referring to the ending here, and this was the thing I got asked about most of all, which is not surprising given how it's such a hot topic. And I think fans have right to be upset if they don't like something. That's their right. Never in any sort of entertainment medium have people been denied the right to complain about quality. However, it's pretty unprecedented to ask an artist to change their work when you're unhappy with it. I don't like what's going on as far as people bullying BioWare into creating a new ending to the game. And I can see it's okay to ask for it. It's okay to say we don't like the ending we were given. But when you're starting to file lawsuits or you're just getting really hostile, I don't like that. And I kind of think people need to tone that down a bit. It's really tough to expect an artist to change their narrative to meet your wants and desires. And, let's be frank, the third and most of the second Matrix movies were terrible. Anybody who was a fan of the first film would have wanted different endings to those second and third ones. But that's what the directors envisioned, that's what they wrote, and that's what we got. And, we have to accept their vision. We may not agree with it, and I think it's kind of the same with Mass Effect 3. However you feel about the ending, you have a right to complain about it if you don't like it, but I think to demand change or demand kind of a retconning, it's a little bit over the top. So personally, I think that we need to voice our displeasure with the product, but I don't think we can demand an artist to change stuff. Next question comes in from, it just says Johnny4839, and it says, do you think Wii U will run Unreal Engine 4? I actually do. Now, people, they're throwing around the idea that the Wii U is just barely more powerful than the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And Nintendo's never released the full specifications, so it may be. But the fact that Epic seems excited by the Wii U makes me think that it's going to be running their next generation engine. You generally will not get Epic speaking well of Nintendo unless they're excited about what they're going to put out. Also, Nintendo has said that they want the Wii U to be port-friendly with the other next-generation systems. So, for it to be able to work well as far as receiving ports, it's going to have to be able to run the same engines that the next PlayStation, the next Xbox run. Maybe it's not going to run them as efficiently with as many effects, but it's going to have to be able to run it. Otherwise, it would be a porting nightmare. So I do think it'll run Unreal Engine 4, and if it wasn't, I think you would have Epic out in front saying, I don't know about the Wii U, it'll probably sell a lot, but I just don't think it's going to be for the hardcore. But they've already said that they expect it to do well. Last question I'm going to take, it says, what PC games do you play currently? Any that you're looking forward to that are PC exclusive? I play on my PC when they're exclusives. I don't play a lot of stuff that's available on console on my PC, just for ease of use. But I'm always playing StarCraft 2. I'm a big StarCraft 2 fan. If I'm not watching it in my downtime, I'm trying to sneak in matches here and there. I haven't played it for a little while, but I'm planning on going back to Civ 5. I really like it. I know that for a lot of the hardcore fans it was not quite as good as Civ 4, but the upcoming updates look awesome, and I'm ready to jump back in. Obviously, I've got my Diablo 3 pre-order put in, and excited for that one. And I have quite a few titles that I missed out on, that I let slip by me that I need to go pick up on Steam. I recently upgraded my desktop, and I got a laptop that's pretty capable of running the newer games, so I'm probably going to be getting back into PC gaming a little bit more here real soon. But as for now, really it's just been StarCraft 2, and obviously looking forward to getting back into Civ 5. But I kind of go in weird waves with my PC gaming, where I'll play 1 or 2 games real intensely and then not much else. But other times I'll play several different ones, but it's never as consistent as it is with my console gaming. I do like the PC as a platform, but just for ease of use, I kind of just stick to my consoles for the multi-platform titles. And most of my friends are on Xbox Live rather than playing on PC. But I do like the PC, and I wish we did cover it a little bit more on Gamer Theory, and maybe we'll try to in the future. That's all the questions I have for this week. I'm going to try and make this a weekly thing if I get enough questions coming in. If you want to email me, it's jeff@gamertheory.com. And I'll take all the questions you've got, pick out enough to do about a 10 to 12 minute clip and put them out there. And future ones, I will do a little bit better job in the production side of things. My camera was giving me fits today, so I had to do it this way. So thanks for listening, and check us out at GamerTheory.com, and on Twitter it's at GamerTheory.com, and on Facebook it's Facebook.com/GamerTheory. Thanks everybody for writing in, and thanks for watching the video.